Welcome all of you to the online class of biology once again. So in the previous video we have studied about the various useful aspects of microbes in household products, in the making of household products, in industries, in sewage treatment, in the production of biogas, isn't it? So likewise we have studied various uses of microbes. So today we are going to study the uses of microbes as biological control agents. So biocontrol means what? Use of biological methods or agents for controlling the plant pests and diseases. Okay, so microbes or other biological agents, okay, are used in controlling the pest and diseases. So as you know, there are lot of pest, okay, insects which attacks the plants, especially the crops. So what we used to do is we use chemical pesticides, insecticides, etc., isn't it? So these chemicals used as pesticides or the insecticides, they are very harmful. They cause lot of harm to human beings, okay, and they pollute the environment. We have studied all this, isn't it? Then the soil get polluted, the water get polluted. Likewise, it causes a lot of pollution to the environment. We have also studied about the biological magnification. These pesticides which are getting accumulated in the successive trophic level. So these chemicals which are used as pesticides or insecticides are very harmful. So for this, a solution comes in the form of biological control of pest and diseases. Okay, so have you heard about organic farmers? So organic farmers believe in biodiversity, means if they don't believe in killing certain kind of pests or insects. So what they use or what they do is they try to create a system where the insects that are sometimes called pest or pest, they are not eradicated, but they will be kept under control. Understood? So they are not believing in eradicating or killing a kind of pest that causes the problem to the crops. Instead, what they do, they try to manage. Okay, so as you know, in nature everything is in balance, isn't it? We have studied the food chain and pyramids of ecological pyramid we have studied. So while studying that, we have studied that the number of organisms in the lower trophic level will be always more, okay, and the number of organisms in the higher trophic level will be less. So nature naturally kept all the organisms under control. Understood? So this is the belief of what organic farmers, what they believe is not instead of eradicating or killing the pest which causes problem to the crops by using some chemical pesticides or insecticides, they try to make the ecosystem more diverse. Okay, so in that way, biological agents, okay, naturally they will be under the control. So they believe that if a particular kind of pest or the insects are killed, that will affect the ecosystem very badly. Okay, so it is undesirable, and that will affect the beneficiary predatory and parasitic insects. Means if some kind of pest are eradicated by using a particular pesticide, that will the entire ecosystem will get affected, isn't it? That organisms will be the predators of something and they will be the prey for something else, isn't it? That particular pest which causes the damage to the crop may be the food for something else also. isn't it? So that causes a lot of problems in the ecosystem, and so they approach a holistic, or they are having a holistic approach where the number of organisms are kept under control. Okay, so this is what one method, okay, of what using biological agents to as what for controlling the pest and all, biological control of pest and disease, okay, by the organic farmers. Okay, then so let's see some examples of the biological agents used as the pesticides. Okay, for example, first is what, ladybird. Have you heard ladybird? It's a kind of insect, beetle with red and black markings in them. Okay, and dragonflies. Okay, dragonflies, they are used to kill, or they are used to control aphids and mosquitoes. Okay, then another example is what, another example is the cat, that is another example is Bacillus thuringiensis. Have you heard about this? Okay, BT cotton, have you heard anywhere? So Bacillus thuringiensis is a bacteria. Okay, and it's an example for microbial biocontrol agents. Okay, microbial biological control agent, that is Bacillus thuringiensis. Okay, so in can be written as BT. Okay, in short we will be writing it as BT, Bacillus thuringiensis. You have to learn these names, and I have told already while writing the scientific names, B should be capital as it is the genus name, and T should start with T should be in small letter. Okay, and you should underline it separately. Okay, so Bacillus thuringiensis is a microbe or a bacteria that is used to kill, okay, or to control the larvae of caterpillars. Okay, so especially these are used in cotton plants. Okay, and the spores of this will be dried, and it is available in the form of sachet, and that can be mixed with water and sprayed to the plants. So when they are sprayed to the plants, when the insects come and eat this, okay, in the gut of the larva, the toxin will be released. The toxin is Bt toxin, okay, Bacillus thuringiensis toxin, and this will make some pores in the gut of the larvae and kill them. Understood? And in other type of insects larvae, this Bt toxin won't be effective because of the changes in the pH. Okay, so specifically they can kill this kind of harmful type of insects without harming the useful type of insects. So this is another example of what, microbes used as the biocontrol agents. Okay, then another example is, okay, one more thing, that is this Bacillus thuringiensis is what, a bacteria, and its spores are conventionally used. Okay, nowadays scientists, what they did, they have isolated that particular gene from the bacteria which is able to produce the toxin, and they were introduced into the plant itself, okay, by biotechnological method. So this we will study in detail in the next chapters. Okay, so this Bt cotton is an example of cotton plant which is having the gene of Bacillus thuringiensis, a bacteria which produces the toxin. Is it clear? Okay. Then, so another example is what? The treatment of plant disease, okay, by a fungus called trichoderma. Okay, so trichoderma is a free living fungus, and they are found in the root ecosystem, means near to the root, and they are also very effective in the control of various pathogens. Okay, then next is another group of microorganisms that are used as biocontrol agents are baculoviruses. Okay, what are they? Baculoviruses, a kind of virus belonging to the genus Nucleopolyhedroviruses. You have to learn all this. Okay, baculoviruses belonging to the genus Nucleopolyhedroviruses. Okay, so they are effective against insects and other arthropods. Okay, and the benefit of this is they are highly species specific. Species specific means what? They will attack only if you introduce that means viruses, baculoviruses, okay, to a particular type of species. They will be effective only against that particular species, not to any other species. Okay, narrow spectrum means the organisms which are affected by them will be very less. Okay, and they will not have any bad effect on other plants, mammals, birds, fishes, and even non-target insects. So they are species specific, I told. Okay, so this is very useful when we are forced to treat some kind of areas, ecologically sensitive areas, for the attack of certain pests or some insects. So this kind of nucleopolyhedroviruses, okay, or baculoviruses that belong to the genus Nucleopolyhedroviruses can be used, especially when we consider about the ecologically sensitive area or in the integrated pest management program. Understood? So I have told you about the biocontrol agents. Okay, biocontrol means what? Controlling the pest or insects with the use of living organisms. And we have seen many examples like what? Ladybird, isn't it? Then we have studied about the dragonflies. Okay, we have studied about BT, that BT or Bacillus thuringiensis. It's a bacteria which is coming under microbe. Okay, then trichoderma, it's a fungus, and the baculoviruses. So bacteria, fungus, and viruses, okay, can be used as biocontrol agents. Okay, so in this way we can conserve the ecosystem without much degradation. Okay, by using the chemical pesticides or insecticides, it will be very harmful for the environment also, so that can be avoided. Okay, now we are going to study the next topic, microbes as biofertilizers. So first, let me clear the difference between biofertilizers and pesticides. Pesticides are what? Chemicals which are used against pest, okay, which attacks the crops. On the other hand, fertilizers are what? Fertilizers are the chemicals which are used as the nutrients for the growth of plants. You would have heard about NPK, isn't it? Phosphorus, potassium, nitrogen, then manganese, magnesium, all these are needed by the plants for their proper growth. We have studied in mineral nutrition of 11th class, isn't it? So this kind of nutrients, okay, which is given in the form of chemicals, are known as what? Fertilizers. Okay, means in the form of chemicals or as biofertilizers also we can give. Okay, so we are going to study here how microbes are used as the biofertilizers. Okay, so we have studied that this chemical fertilizers, if you are applying in large quantities, it can degrade the quality of the soil, isn't it? Because it may kill the microorganism. And we have also studied about this chemicals which are added to the soil can reach to the water bodies, and the growth of algae and other plants can be more, or it can increase the growth of this kind of algae and other plants. So like this, it causes a lot of environmental problems. Okay, water pollution it can cause what? Soil pollution. It can kill the useful microorganisms of the soil, and the prolonged use of these chemicals can result in the loss of fertility, natural fertility of the soil. So in this context, okay, we can use various microorganisms as fertilizers. So this is known as biofertilizers. So what is the definition of biofertilizers? Biofertilizers are organisms that enrich the nutrient quality of the soil. Okay, and this kind of approach of farming is known as organic farming. Okay, so instead of chemical fertilizers, if we use the biofertilizers, or biopesticides, that kind of farming is known as organic farming. And in organic farming we can use biofertilizers. Okay, so some examples of biofertilizers or the organisms which are mainly used as the biofertilizers are bacteria, fungus, cyanobacteria, etc. Isn't it? You have studied that in rhizobium, in the roots of leguminous plants. Okay, there are certain bacteria called rhizobium, and they are able to fix atmospheric nitrogen. In addition to this, there are free living organisms, bacteria, like Azospirillum, Acetobacter, etc. also can fix atmospheric nitrogen. So all this you have to study clearly. Rhizobium is a bacterium which is living as a symbiotic association in the roots of leguminous plants. Okay, and Azospirillum and Acetobacter are free living bacteria. Okay, I am repeating these words so that you will listen to this and you will remember this. Okay, so Azospirillum and Acetobacter are examples of free living bacteria which can fix atmospheric nitrogen, and rhizobium is are present in the roots of leguminous plants. So this is the reason why people are growing this leguminous plants in the fields, in between the cultivation of rice or something like that. Understood? Then, so another example of microorganisms increases the fertility of the soil or the yield of the crop is mycorrhiza. Okay, so you have studied what are mycorrhiza, isn't it? They are association, symbiotic association of fungal hyphae with the roots of the higher plants. Okay, and the members of the genus Glomus, they form a genus of fungus known as Glomus mainly forms the mycorrhiza. And what this mycorrhiza does to the plants is they increase the fertility of the soil. They increase the absorption of phosphorus from the soil to the and it will be given to the plants. Okay, and in addition to this, that point wise you have to learn. This mycorrhiza, how they are beneficial can be asked. So you have to see the points, marks, and then you have to study according to the points. So first is they increase the absorption of phosphorus from the soil to the plant, and they also help in giving resistance to root-borne pathogens. Root-borne pathogens means what? Which attacks the roots. Especially the roots will be attacked by this kind of pathogens. Then tolerance to salinity and drought will be increased. Means the plant will be able to tolerate more salinity variation and drought conditions. And then also they increase the plant growth. Another example is cyanobacteria. Cyanobacteria are belonging to you have studied, isn't it, in kingdom Monera. So these includes organisms like Anabina, Nostoc, Oscillatoria, etc. And you have studied the cyanobacteria is having a special kind of cells known as heterocyst, and they can also do nitrogen fixation. Okay, so this increases the soil fertility and they can also be used as the biofertilizer. Okay, so in addition to this, they also increase the organic matter to the soil and they increase the fertility. Okay, so all this kind of biofertilizers are available commercially in the market, and the farmers can use this. Okay, because they increase the nitrogen fertility of the soil or phosphorus fertility, etc. So they can be used as the biofertilizers. Is it clear? So various microorganisms are used as biofertilizers. Okay, examples we have studied. What are the examples that we have studied? That is mycorrhiza, isn't it? Then what we can see various nitrogen fixing bacteria. Okay, then we can see cyanobacteria. All these are examples of microorganisms used as biofertilizers. So in this video we have studied how microorganisms are used as biofertilizers and also as pesticides. Okay, so in this way, in addition to what the disease causes or harmful effects of microorganisms, they are having a number of the role, okay, in human life. Okay, in different ways they help us, and our body itself is the habitat of a number of microorganisms inside our digestive system, inside in the skin, etc. Okay, so they are not only harmful, many of them are very helpful to human being also. Okay, and without the microbes, microbes, we cannot imagine a world. Okay, the other things we have already studied, they are they are doing a very important role in the decomposition of various materials, etc. So hope you understood the useful aspects of microorganisms. So children, you do one thing, you have to write this names of various microorganisms, especially from this chapter, the bioactive molecules, that in points you write and keep the write in your copy and keep. Okay, thank you.